Hello everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in as always. Do appreciate you clicking on the video if you're watching this 1 minute. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, so the race will have already happened and this is a re-upload, so you can skip through the video where you will and just sort of watch what's going on. If you're watching this on Twitch, this is live. Unless you're watching the saved broadcast, of course, but you should see a little red live button somewhere on your screen. Right, so what we've got for you tonight is the Mature Racing Club Team Oliver Racing GT3 League. This is a ProAm lobby. I'm just going to get some links shared out and then we'll go through everything for you, so give me a second. Get that link copied there. I'll get that out in MRC's Facebook page and CRT's. I was on CRT earlier actually, so that should be a nice and easy one to do. I just need one of you kind CRT people to go and approve it for me. It's only a little post, it's nothing to worry about. Mature Racing Club. Oh look, CRT admin are on it tonight. On it, lads. So that's that one. Millerman approved. Cheers, Millerman. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it as always. So I'll try and maximise viewership tonight and just try and post in a few random groups. Yeah, I got it. Should have posters rights for this. Should have. There we go. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, pressing everything wrong. Alright, 1 minute. I'm pressing buttons I'm not meant to be pressing here. 1 minute, lads. Get rid of these tags, don't need them. Oh god, right, anyway, so who've we got in here? Darren, how you doing? Wooed up, Mikey. Right, let's get my keyboard sorted, so that's that. ProAm is here at the last minute. Let's get you some info on the screen. So you're just watching practice right now. Nothing's actually going on. The lads are just getting their eye in really for qualifying, which starts in about 5 minutes time. I thought I'd fire the stream up a little bit early just so we can go through points and all that other stuff as well. So the good news is I've go CRT evening Mikey. That's from Millerman. The good news is I've pulled my laptop out and I've got that sat on my sort of rig very precariously, I will add, so if I end up banging my table then that's gonna just fall over. Yeah, I've got that precariously sat there, so that's got my chat and my stream manager going. My phone, I could just sit and just do stuff on it if I need to, and should help me from missing charts. I'm looking for, I'm sure they got posted in the lobby earlier on. I'll just have a quick flick through the drivers just on. I can multitask. I'm not like those other guys. It's just pictures of ducks. Like, like if you're not in the group, you kind of won't get the references, but there's ducks everywhere. Right, I think I'm going to need to scroll back past about 800 duck pics. Liveries, yeah, links, yeah, nice, more ducks. More ducks. More ducks. Let me go to the website, see if it's on there. Right, okay. I think we've got them. Yes, we have. Right, so I can find... It's Bobby, mate, he's obsessed. He's absolutely obsessed. Right, a couple of new drivers in tonight, which we'll talk about once we've done the points. So if you see any names on here that don't quite add up, I should hopefully cover all that off before qualifying begins. So in terms of points going into this race then, so leading the ProAm Championship currently is Tony Dedman, aka Miggins. He's got 222 points. He's 7 points clear of Puani in P2. Both driving Mercedes, so it's a Mercedes 1-2 in the championship. Then we've got a random BMW, as in Britsberger. He's P3 at the minute with 181 points, so there's quite a gap between second and third. And then there is quite a small gap then from Britsberger to Cutler, who's holding P4. Then we've got Phil G, who's on an absolute resurgence at the minute in the Mitsubishi Evo. P5 for him on 170 points, just 1 point behind Cutler. We've got Buddy. He lost his championship lead quite a while ago. Actually, I think Miggins has had this for a while, it seems like. This is the first time I've ever looked at the table since doing points of this, so I apologise if I've completely been messing it up all this time. Yeah, Buddy's got 166 points. Then behind Buddy is Sean Sayers. He's in the AMG. He's got 150 points. And Paul Buck in the Lexus, the only Lexus in the field I understand, he's got 144 points in P8. D-Dot 90, he's another Evo driver, 123 points for D-Dot. Had a bad time out last week at Suzuka. Hopefully he has a bit of a better night tonight. Schlo Seamus in the BMW M6, he's on 109 points, rounded out the top 10. Then we've got Burndy Pip Didya, he's in the AMG as well, he's got 81 points. Roving Island in the Audi, the only Audi driver in the field, 64 points for Jeff Sugana, 12 points. Stephen Smith, full send, BMW driver, has been on a horrendously good run of form lately. The BMW looks quite well suited to this as well, providing he can get his gearing sorted out. He's got 55 points, but bearing in mind he has not driven the full season. We've got Mark Parker, Aston Martin driver, 39 points for him in P14, and then Duds is P15 with 10 points. I'm just going to go on mute a second. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Thank you. Sorry about that, starting the stream coincides with the exact moment my daughter doesn't want to go to bed, so there's always some sort of drama going on, but all is well and she's fine. She's just accidentally changed a password on something and she doesn't know what it is, so that should be fun. Right, new drivers time then, so let's cap this off. So we've got ESR Idle. He's someone I raced with on a Tuesday night, so me and him had quite a good race last night in the Infinity GT Manufacturers Series. He was in the Jag, I was in the Mercedes. Here at the minute, he's leading practice times here at Bathurst. Of course, we don't know what strategies people are aiming to run yet. Who else have we got that is new? I saw him earlier on. Tyler John, he's another new driver. He's going to be driving the BMW M3 GT3 tonight. We'll see more of him as he goes through. I haven't really seen him out on track yet, whereas ESR Idle has been out there sort of getting his eye in with the circuit. Bathurst is a pretty familiar track for most people, so most people who have played the game or have no idea, Diablo. Yeah, you there, Diablo? Are you meant to be in this league? I'm sure you're meant to be in the other one. Who knows? Yeah, what was I going to say? So Bathurst, most people will know it. It happens to be probably my favourite track on the entire game, I'll be honest. I love Bathurst. So a bit late for qualifying getting underway. I'm sure it started at 8:30. Or did I misread the communication completely? So a bit of an idea on the format tonight. I'll probably cap this off as we go through. So we should be getting 15 minutes qualifying underway in just a moment. And then we'll go straight into race number 1. That goes on the grid order of the lobby. So in other words, the results of qualifying, that's going to be 11 laps. The drivers will be given a full tank of fuel and will be given free rein on what tyres they run, and there are no pit stop windows. They can pit as many or as little times as they like. As you see Full Send getting wrong there coming over the top of the mountain. We'll then have a little bit of a break. The top 3 from race 1 will have a weight ballast penalty applied. That will be sorted out in the intermission, and then we go to race 2. Now that's going to be 17 laps. The drivers will only have 70% fuel. It's going to be a twilight race essentially, so it's going to be a night race. So visibility in race 2 is going to be a problem for those and people commentating and watching. But hopefully we should be okay. In that one there is a pit window, which means no driver is allowed to pit for tyres until the end of lap 4 as well. So Table again. I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. I've just had what's the word? Bit of a stressful day, mate. I've got a searing headache, so hopefully I've popped some Pampers and hopefully we'll be okay. Currently sipping a nice cup of tea as well. Hoping for a nice chilled race, but it's Bathurst, so anything can happen, dude, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think we're just waiting for some technical issues to be resolved and then we'll be underway. 15 minutes coming up. So I'm sure Diablo's in the other lobby. I'm certain he is. Right, we will jump on board with a car as well, and we'll give you a bit of a lap guide to Mount Panorama, affectionately known as Bathurst. We'll go through a little bit of them, we'll take you on a lap, so just give me a second, let me get that down. This is where my laptop can come in handy. Yeah, underqualified now, so that's good. There we go. Oh, yes. Beautiful. So, Mount Panorama then actually is a street circuit. The streets you see in Buddy Drive on now actually have people's driveways coming off to the left and to the right. When you see some houses there in the background. During race days, these people cannot get in and out of their houses. The track is lined with vineyards and orchids and all sorts of wonderful, beautiful stuff. So in terms of the difference, the one sort of characteristic of Bathurst is obviously the mountain. Now, the total difference between the highest point and the lowest point of the track is 571 feet. Sometimes going to like 1 in 6 gradients as well, so it's quite steep coming down the hill, and that'll trip people up, especially with MR cars, so where the engines are in the rear. People like your buddies, Phil G's, Full Send should be okay in the BMW, that's pretty steady. Most cars actually will be okay. One person that's gonna have a problem tonight is going to be Roving Island. Who is essentially going to have a quite big solid weight sat behind his head that's just going to want to move about everywhere. In terms of its current format, it is 3.8 miles of prime Australian tarmac, comprising of 23 turns. Race lap record currently held in a GT3 McLaren 650S for 201.5. That was attained by Shane Van Gisbergen back in 2016. It is yet to be beaten. Of course, there have been loads of unofficial lap records. I think they dragged a Formula 1 car around here for a laugh one day. Let's jump on board with Full Send then. So, turn 1, braking roughly about 75 metres. It's known affectionately as Hell Corner. Up the mountain straight then, this is where you start to climb uphill. Slipstream for this part of the circuit is going to be relatively important, but with it not being as long as straight as the one we're going to look at later, this is really where you can make an overtake before you start to pass Griffiths, which is here. Then it becomes kind of one way only. Passing from here on out, going to be pretty tough. Coming into the cutting then, just be careful not to run too far to the right. Full send using that part of the track actually to widen his entry into quarries. Coming up to the top of the mountain now, the car starts to get light as you start to dip back down the hill. This part's got Frog Hollow. This is where the back end of the car will just start to wobble and weave away a little bit. Coming through Mitfordham Park. Again, you want to be careful out of the wall on the inside of the right hand side. Coming down through Skyline. Just be careful as you come through the S's and into the Dipper. This is where the back end of the car just will not want to sit down. You'll have to be very gentle on the throttle through here as you come down towards Forest Elbow. This again has a gradient on the inside. You want to get your car tucked in there. If you don't successfully do that, you're at risk of losing quite a lot of pace. Conrod Straight then, probably the most popular point for overtakes. If a car will get itself nicely tucked into the slipstream here, can be worth a couple of attempts on your lap, and can be worth a few miles an hour at the end of the straight as well. The chase was put in after, let's be honest, it was quite dangerous without it, so down towards the chase, braking about 125 metres, and then down under the Armorwell Bridge down towards Murray's. Another notable point of the circuit is the pit entry, which is causes quite a predicament for some drivers because it's quite difficult to get it right. So much like Autopolis, it is lined with peril. So flying laps first in, then full send with a 2 minutes flat. He's the fastest so far. Lucky Bucky's the other one set a lap time. He's put a 2:01.8 on the board. Lucky Bucky with a 2:01.9. Miggins with a 2:03.0, so he lost some time on that lap somewhere. Puani, 2:05.0 for Puani. Cutler, he's got a 2:02.2 for him on the board, with Duds next to set a lap time. Duds is going to put a 2:03.4 on the board. ESR Idle, who had some really good pace in qualifying, 2:01.3, that puts him P2 on the board so far for ESR Idle. Britzberger, not a representative lap time that time round for him, so maybe he's just burning some fuel. D.90, another streamer. You want to go and check him out over on Facebook. Tell him Chris sent you, he'll love you forever. A 2:04.9 for D.P8 for him at the minute. What can Buddy do? He's on his flying lap now, so he's been and changed some tyres as Buddy. Sean, this is an outlap for Sean, and Diablo is also an outlap. Diablo, as you can see, is actually Australian, so this is his home circuit. His home crowd will be willing him on from the edge of the circuit, and we should think he'll do quite well here. Fred M6 full send seems to have it planted. He does. Yeah, he's got that thing. He's got that thing nailed. When I last drove in this league, that's the car I used, and you lose a bit of... Let's have a look. What's his straight line speed at the end of Conrod? So he gets to 161.234. He's hitting 165 before he brakes. I'm not really clocking what other people are doing, but we'll keep a mental note of that. But that was the BMW's weak point. If you played with the gearing too much, it made you weak up the mountain, but he seems to have got a good balance there, does full send, although he has clipped the wall quite nicely. Yes, how idle then the other BMW. The BMWs are going nicely around here. ESR Idle setting purple lap time's always down on this one actually, but he's actually got... He's going 170 nearly as we come down here, so he's got way less downforce on that car than full send does. So full send actually is not getting the potential out of that car on the straight, but he's tweaked it to be good in the corners. So you can see that. So let's go full send, good lap. This is the thing, these guys have been toying with the setup. Bathurst is one where you kind of have to make a trade really. Let's see what ESR right now. We know he's not going to improve his lap time. You kind of have to make a trade off, because half of the circuit you do want a little bit of downforce. You especially want it to be quite stiff for now. You don't want it to be all over the place coming down the mountain. Lose a ton of time there, but at the same point you don't want to trim the car so much that it's just a drag machine going down the 2 long straights you've got here. So you've got to trade that off a little bit. You've also got to think about your tyre wear and your fuel consumption. The more aero, the more you consume both of those, essentially. Buddy actually there, absolutely flying down the mountain. He's driven the circuit lots, he knows it well. He's currently 8/10 off the pole position time. Pole is quite important here. Track position is important at Bathurst because you're not going to be able to make up all those positions on the straights. Where the overtaking can be done, it is lined with pebble. With these guys running full damage, this is essentially a full sim league, don't forget. So these guys have full damage on, they have quite severe tyre and fuel settings. This is geared at pretty much the best you can get on GT Sport, really. Before you go over onto, like, you know, the PC Master Race side of things, where you can tweak things a lot more. But on a console, this is about as good as it's going to get, to be fair. It's a full send on and out lap. Pirani then, is he improving this time? It seems to be alright so far. He's 2/10 off the pole time so far. A little bit scruffy there coming out of the final corner. Doesn't manage to improve his time that time round. Let's have a little bit of a look at the timing screen. Just see. So Britzberger was actually improving. He is just coming round the chase now. I tried earlier in the way to trade off. Yeah, that's all it is, Miliband. You've just got to decide what. And as well, it varies per driver. Some drivers, as you all know from watching F1 coverage and GT coverage, like, you stick Alex Albon in a Red Bull because it's tuned for Max Verstappen, he's terrible in it, but you put him back in a car that's tuned for him and he flies. It's the same theory with this. These drivers have been able to spend practically all week or all the time they've got to be able to tune the car to their liking. So whether that means more or less downforce, more or less anti-roll bar, you know, tuning the frequencies on the springs, even to the degrees of how much torque do you want in your diff on initial application and braking. So they've got to work out all that what works best for them and what works best for their car. Sean goes faster with a 204.1, putting him 10th. I will actually make this chat box a little bit bigger. Oh god, I'm clicking stuff. There we go. I didn't mean to click that. Let's make you a little bit bigger, chat box. Oh, we've got 3.17 in the chat for Tyler. You're not racing tonight. Oh, fair enough, Robin Island. I just remember you being the only one that had an Audi. And I'll be honest, that's the one car that would struggle here, the Audi. My name is Money Follows. Let's have a look. Alright, so I've got my followers up as well. Winner. A couple of personal best times popping in. Diablo's going faster as well in the AMG. Let's go and check in on the Australian. So currently not. He's actually not yet. He's going to be personal best because he's not even set a time yet. So it's going to be hard to compare his time to anyone else's. The yellow flag's up red. Someone's got it wrong coming out of the chase. Hopefully that doesn't affect Diablo's time. It doesn't. He seems to have, yeah, that car's just parked up to let Diablo go past. So Diablo's going to peel off into the pits here. He's gonna struggle for time. It's a 2-minute lap. That's a strange strategy by Diablo. Right, so what I was just about to say is this is the part of qualifying where we should start to see the fast laps come in now, as ESR idle sets purple first sector. Because, as I sort of alluded to in the intro, so I'm still trying to speed drink my tea as well. As I alluded to in the intro, the drivers are given a full tank of fuel. Now, fuel is weight as far as this is concerned, so it's sort of equivalent to having about 100 kilo person. It's equivalent to having a me sat in the rear of your car. Now that will upset the balance of your car, that will upset the speed, it will give you essentially more weight for the car to carry around. Drivers so far have been able to burn away around 50 kilos worth of fuel during this qualifying session so far. So if they can apply that in a good lap, you will start to see their sector times tumble. Full Send went purple sector 1, ESR Rider went purple sector 2, Meagans went purple sector 3, They are all starting to pile in the lap times now. Phil G is going to be the next one to cross the line. He goes 2 minutes 0.6 and sets the pole time. Miggins is the next one to watch. He's going to come across the line. He's got a 2:01.7 as his personal best and a 2 minutes 0.6 to beat. Doesn't beat the pole time for now, goes 6 with a 2:01.3. ESR Idol was the next one I wanted to keep an eye on. He goes purple into sector 3. Just the chase and the last corner to navigate now. A lot of time can still be lost here. He seems to get nice and tidy on the brakes. Hits the apex up nicely, gets good power out of the corner. Doesn't run to 2 wheels on the grass like some drivers do. That will cost you time. Now the final crucial braking zone, actually quite early on the brakes there, to be fair. That might lose him a little bit of time, but I think he just wanted to shore up his exit. A 2 minutes 0.6 to beat for ESR Idol. I think that final corner did cost him a few attempts, but he gets pole anyway with a 2 minutes 0.5, batting Phil G away by less than a tenth of a second. Let's see if anyone else is lining up to beat them. Phil G was going faster as well on his next lap, although other than Lucky Bucky no one else was improving. D-Dot was looking like he might improve as well. D-Dot has just set a better time. He's got a 2:01.9, that puts him P9 ahead of Cutler and just behind the Lexus of Lucky Bucky. So our new starter, who's smashed his car up on the next lap, has put a good time in there. 2 minutes 0.5, currently pole time for Darren Baldwin. Yeah, Mike, yeah, I agree, but some people like that. Yeah, some people like that. I've known people rip all the downforce off for this track. I've seen it happen. And they can manage it just fine. Does Phil G improve? No, he doesn't. Miggins was the next one that was looking like he was showing promise. Qualifying is just about over as well, so unless Miggins can upset the apple cart here, it looks like it might just be ESR Idol's day. Miggins goes third with a 2 minutes 0.8. It's a good lap time for Miggins, but it is 3 tenths shy, and it's a BMW so far that is taking all the adoration. I don't know if Full Send's going to get out in time for this lap. I think he's just left it a little bit too late. What's Diablo up to? He was someone I wanted to come back to, so he's actually managed to get a lap in. So this is Diablo's one and only shot at qualifying. He hasn't set a lap time yet, and he's currently sat in probably last position. Duds is in the pits. Oh, Diablo's got it wrong at the final corner and parks it up. And yeah, he's not happy with that lap, and he's going to come into the pits instead. So looks like ESR Idol's pole time's going to go pretty much unchallenged. Phil G, I think we saw there go personal best. D-Dot, right at the death of a great lap. D-Dot 2:01.4. Takes half a second off his best qualifying time yet, leaps himself above Lucky Bucky and Britsberger, and puts him in P7. So yeah, the guys are now just parked up and waiting. Phil G, I think, yeah, he will. Phil G got across the line in time, so we will get to set this lap. So will Miggins. A couple of drivers who are just waiting. Pirani's on a lap as well. A few people have just abandoned theirs. So is ESR Idol. So what can Phil G do? He's going to be the next fast driver to cross the line, I think. It's a 2 minutes 0.6 to beat at the minute. Phil, who has always been a last minute qualifying demon, it's not going to be a beating time today, I'm afraid, for Phil G. Miggins, what can he do? I have to be honest, it doesn't look like that car's got the body language to be beaten. I think his tyres had gone by that point already. It's not going to be a swan song for Miggins right at the end. Full Send's actually quite a slow sector one, so yeah, that's it for qualifying. I think there's no one else on hot laps. We congratulate ESR Idol on pole position with a 2 minutes 0.5. First race with us tonight. And pole position for him as well. He also does commentary, so you can go and check out his channel, Idol 4 Gaming on YouTube. does a little bit of commentary here and there. He's been upping his ante on that a little bit. Let's have a look. Right, sorry, I'm just catching up on chats. Cool. Alright, that's it. That's it, duds. That's all you gotta do, mate. People will make mistakes around here. It will happen. This track just encourages crashing. So as long as you can just sort of keep it clean, you'll be all good. I'm pretty sure you can do it. Can you do 11 laps on tank of fuel around here? Or are you gonna have to do some fuel saving? I don't know what the fuel depletion ratio is. You might struggle actually because it's quite a thirsty circuit. You spend quite a lot of time at full chat. I'm making plenty of mistakes tomorrow in the Megane. Ah, you'll be right. You'll be right. Meganes are fine. Alright then, race number 1 of the Team Oliver race, and this is round 7, I believe it is. We're live from Bathurst here as we see the grid now. It's a very tight grid here at Bathurst. First and second basically are side by side. Your screen will show Phil G as pole sitter, but I assure you he isn't. We're going to get a screaming Aston Martin in our ear. Oh, Buddy's actually got a false start there, and that's going to let a few cars through. Buddy's actually maybe disconnected from the race, as everyone seems to get away well. Phil G got an absolute beast of a start. We have just clipped that just to see if we need to. What happened there? Oh yeah, we're going to have an aborted start. I'm actually not sure what happened there. I think there was a little bit of contact. So I've got to give Idle some grief here. Oh, he hates me. I don't know why we restarted. Not too sure. I'm guessing I saw Buddy looks like he false started anyway, but yes, yeah, I saw Buddy false start. I wonder if that's what we're doing it. Oh, is it? Oh, it's Big Willow in it. Ooh. Yeah, good luck, mate. Yeah, Big Willow is not. Big Willow's no fun, mate. I'll be honest. I don't enjoy it. Sorry, I was talking to you on mute then. Don't know why we're doing that. I was happily chatting away, but I realised my microphone was muted, so lol. Yeah, what I was saying is it's quite ironic that Diablo is the one that actually lives in Australia. We're at an Australian track and his connection's terrible. But it does happen. Gran Turismo Sport seem to put about 15p into their connection service. And ever since the PS5 has been released, strokes chin, we've started having all these weird and wonderful issues. I'm pretty sure it's not a plot from Sony to get you buy new consoles or anything, but certainly that's what's been subtly suggested, I believe. Duds, where were you? Ooh, God, I'm dropping stuff. Demo were last. Where were you, Duds? Just put it up in chat. Right, so while we're waiting, just to give you a little bit of a recap of what we're in for tonight. So the race we're about to see is race number 1. This is an 11-lap race. The drivers are going to be given a full tank of fuel. They can use any tyres for this race. They can use as many sets of tyres as they like. And there is no mandatory pit stop, so they don't have to pit. They can if they want to. Some drivers will choose to, because you don't lose a lot of time by pitting here at Bathurst. If you just change the tyres, it's only about 4 or 5 seconds you lose, not a lot. Then race number 2, we'll cap that off when we come to it, but race number 2 is the feature race. It's kind of the one that you're probably here to watch. What's happening is Diablo didn't get away off the line. A couple of cars went into the back of him, caused chaos, so we're doing a restart. That's basically it. So we're just waiting for that. We're just waiting for the restart, mate, which is happening now. So this should hopefully be the last one we do. We'll keep an eye on whether... let's get rid of that. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on whether Diablo moves, but... most importantly, this is wrong because where's Buddy's back there, look. And away we go, everyone gets away well. Buddy gets a flyer of a start. There's a car turn round, that is full sends BMW turn round. We're going to go back and have a look at that. You can bet your bottom dollar. Phil G though does manage to get a good start. Let me get some race info going for you guys. There we go. Phil G gets a great start here, so Idle gets away well as well. CRT Miggins up in P3. Duds, fantastic start by Duds. He has pulled out what he said in the chat as well, of taking advantage of other people's mistakes in P4. Then we've got MRC Buddy having to defend to a horde made of Britsberger, Pirani, and now full send. We've got Cutler down in P9 with Lucky Bucky in 10th. D-Dot in 11th, he's lost a couple of positions off the start. Dablo in 12th, Sean in 13th, and Tyler John, the new driver, in 14th. Right, I'm just going to wait till the drivers do get through the mountain for the first time, and then we'll go back and have a look at that carnage. Phil G's getting an absolute escape, so he's Idle. Miggins not too far behind as well. This is the part of the course where drivers have got to be really careful, especially in race 2 when it's going to be dark. Most of these cars should handle this part of the track quite well. I don't believe we actually have any MR cars in the lobby tonight, so we should be absolutely okay with this. Yeah, looks like everyone survives that okay. So I want to see what happens to full send from the start. So this is just a replay of the start. So he's starting in 4th. Oh, he gets a tap. I think he does get a tap. It's a very congested start line here, and full send does appear to have been turned around at the start. But meanwhile, let's just have a little bit of a recap. So we've got Phil G leading the way in P1, ESR Idle P2, 2 seconds behind him. Miggins 1.6 seconds behind that. Duds is holding P4 at the minute, but he's been chased down by Buddy in the Aston Martin. Buddy's getting pressured by Pirani though. Currently P6 in a minute. Pirani himself is having a nice little battle with the BMW of Britsberger. He's going to try and go up the inside of Hell Corner. There's brake marker boards being thrown over everywhere. Oh, we've got a car off. That's Buddy. We will go back and have a look at that. Cutler currently defending to the Lexus of Lucky Bucky. D-Dot makes a proposition, then up into P10. Buddy fortunately gets away with just minor damage to the rear of his car. And Diablo, who's been in the pits, so I'm guessing he got some damage. Tyler John's got a little bit of damage to his car as well. I'm just going to move my laptop because I can't see the damage. There we go. I want to go and see what happened to Buddy. He's down in 12th now. So what indeed did happen to MRC Buddy at Hell Corner? So he's currently tucked in behind Duds. Pirani and Britsberg are quite a way behind him. He just leaves his braking too late, follows Duds off. Yeah, that was his own fault, that one, I'm afraid. So now he's tucked up behind Sean. And he's going to want to make that move on Sean pretty quick, I think. That's a terrible angle to look at, because you can't see anything other than Sean's gigantic rear wing. But you get the impression of this is pretty much what the drivers can see out the back of the car. Phil isn't managing to escape from ESR Idle. Both of these drivers, you do feel them mitigating the pace a little bit at the minute. They will obviously be mindful of tyre wear and fuel depletion and all that sort of stuff. But the grid really, the top 12, pretty close together. So the top 12 within like really one stretch of track. We do have Tyler John, who's fallen away a little bit. He's in the M3, and then we've got Diablo, who's been in the pits. So presumably he had a little bit of damage. ESR Idle then. Oh, what's happened to Phil? Oh, Phil G's pitted. Phil G's come in the pits. So ESR Idle assumes the lead of the race then. Fastest lap of the race just until Pirani took it was a 201.8. So he's now got Miggins behind him. Miggins doesn't have any slipstream though. Pirani might be able to get a little bit of a temp from Miggins. Full send is back up to 4th. Cutler in 6th. Did Phil G get some damage there? He's still... Oh wait, no, that's the wrong car. Yeah, because he's not changed his tyres. What's happened to Phil here? Yeah, he got some damage. He went off. So I think rather than... yeah, that damage would have impacted him here. So I think he had to come in and get that repaired. That's cost him a lot of time though. But I think in the grand scheme of things was the wise choice. We've still got 9 laps to go here at Bathurst. You certainly don't want to be carrying suspension damage at a track with quite as many corners as this. So probably quite a wise move for that to occur. In terms of strategy for this race, the teams don't necessarily have any. It's a sprint race. So you may well see some pit stops around half distance just to freshen up the tyres a little bit. In terms of fuel, it does certainly look like it'll be a stretch to get that fuel to go all the way. We'll of course see how that is managed throughout it. They won't need a lot of fuel taken on board, but they might just need a bit of a splash. Where is Buddy? MRC Buddy is right at the back of the grid. He's having an awful race. He's been in the pit. Yeah, he's been in the pits. I'm presuming to get some damage sorted. But Buddy's having a torrid race tonight. Someone who isn't having a torrid race tonight is ESR Idle, who is flying away at the front of the field. 5.2 seconds is the gap now between him and second place. The key thing at the minute for ESR Idle to remember, if he wins this race, he will carry maximum ballast into race number 2. Miggins will carry some ballast and Pirani will take just a little bit less. That's if it finished right now, but Pirani has some suspension damage, that front left tyre. Now that tyre doesn't get an awful lot of loading around here, with it being a counterclockwise circuit. It's the front right which tends to take a bit more of a battering, with you having to deal with McKilney Park and Forest Elbow. But when you deal with Bathurst, you don't want to be carrying any suspension damage at all. So you can see Pirani's coming under quite a lot of pressure from full send. Full send of the BMW will have no damage whatsoever. And that BMW does have quite a lot of traction naturally as well, just due to its wide stance. Oh, you can see Pirani there just getting, again, that damage will just be affecting the dynamics of that car. So full sender is able to full attack here on the back of Pirani. His car is all over the place. You can see that front suspension is just not letting him get the power down in that car or get the steering angles right. But full send just can't overtake it, so he's lifting and coasting just not to overtake that. He's letting Britsberger catch up, but there's not really anything full send can do here. He gets a lot. You can see the aero wash he's getting from that AMG in front. Of course, when you're in a second of the car in front, very similar to Formula 1, you'll get that aero wash. There is a car spinning round in the background. I'm going to go and have a look at who that is. I didn't see who that is at the minute. We'll go and have a look. That is Duds. Duds, who is having an awful day. He's coming through front. He has got Sean tucked up right behind him. He's just going to take it too deep, and he's going to lose it all by himself. He does collect Sean for a bonus, but yeah, that's sent Duds spinning round. He's got quite severe damage to that car now. Sean fortunately escapes out without any damage, and even collects another car on his way through. That was Diablo, I think. Now, let's have a look. Diablo's got the fastest lap of the race so far. Who's that was off the track then? That's Phil. Why am I struggling? It's always got engine damage. Yeah, something bad happened to Phil there. Let's see if we can capture it. As we see quite a lot of that happened in the middle of Conrod. How did that happen? I'm perplexed. I'm absolutely perplexed to see how that happened. I didn't see it. I apologise. I was too busy watching Duds' spin. Let's give you a little bit of a field recap. We are approaching the halfway point of this race now. So ESR Idol leading the way. Currently running the soft tyre. Doing a nice job on fuel as well. He's looking pretty comfortable at the minute. Setting personal best lap times as well. CRT Miggins, he's dropping back a little bit, but he's on the medium tyre. The theory with that is he won't have a tyre drop off, and he might even be planning to no stop this, so Idol does need to build that gap up ahead. Puani still carrying that damage, and I must say Puani is doing a fantastic job of keeping that BMW behind him while carrying damage. Lucky Bucky, P5 at the minute for Lucky Bucky. He's got Britsberger chasing him down. Britsberger is carrying a little bit of front aero damage. Cutler, who's on the medium tyres, won't have the overall lap pace, but will have the longevity, so if any other drivers need to pit, he should effectively not have to do that. D-Dot with a little bit of front aero damage. He's on the softs, may well have to pit for fuel. Sean, P9 for Sean at the minute. Had a bit of an unlucky race, has been caught up in quite a lot of other people's accidents. That can be the story at Bathurst. Diablo, our Australian cousin, fastest lap of the race so far for Diablo. Buddy, who's been in the pits again. I'd imagine we'll try and go to the end now. Duds, who's also been in the pits. Tyler, who's been in the pits. He's now got engine damage as well. So Seamus has joined the room. I can't see why Tyler acquired that damage. No, it happened quite early on in the race. And then Phil G, who also had heavy engine damage last time out, and has even picked up a little bit more damage. But your race leader for the time being, driving the M6 GT3, is ESR Idol. Doing a great job on his debut race. CRT Miggins, P2 for Miggins at the minute, is he's getting caught a little bit by Puani. Puani's going just that little bit quicker. I love Puani's livery. Now that damage he's got is only affecting him at this section of the circuit, which is quite important because this is a section of the circuit that full send can't overtake him on. So full send, despite having fast potential in that car, just can't maximise that behind this car. Britsberger then being chased down by Cutler. Britsberger's on the soft, so he should be able to defend quite nicely. We've got Cutler out as well. We've got Lucky Bucky. We've got D-Dot. D-Dot is a little bit behind that battle, but he's starting to get in the groove of Bathurst now. Yeah, we'll just see this race out to its conclusion, I believe. Okay. Does Idol pit? Only he will know. He will know his sector times. He'll know whether he needs to or not. You do feel it in the car. Keep an eye on the gap. 8.5 seconds as the gap as he crosses the line. 202.2, so him dropping a little bit of pace on those softs. That being said, he's still going faster than Miggins. Oh wait, no he's not. Miggins put a 2 on 1.3 in that time. So that, for ESL Idol's pit crew, has got to be a red flag. I would probably... How much time do you lose in the pits? Polani's got to repair some damage. Have we got anyone that hasn't got to repair damage so I can correctly gauge how long a pit stop takes? So Sean, who's pitted, hasn't put any fuel in. About 6 seconds, wasn't it? Idol might be able to make this. We'll see. We'll see what he plans to do. I think if I was in his shoes, I would want a safety stop for I'd just stick another set of softs on. You don't need to run the mediums. I would just stick a set of softs on that car. Full send then has been in. He's got a fresh set of softs. He has managed to jump ProAm in the pit, so he's got the undercut there. He's underfueled that car on purpose. So he's put a little bit less fuel in, so we'll need to fuel save this stint, but he's got track position. That's something he's wanted forever. Or if we're going to go side by side through the mountain, Cutler, who you remember hasn't stopped, he's on the medium tyre. He's got ProAm chasing him down behind him, and yeah, Cutler might just be a sitting duck here, but as we've seen, as he taps the wall there, ProAm is going to be able to make a move around the outside. It's just going to be a drag race down Conrad straight between these two now. Right, so who's took the most aero out of the car competition, and at the minute Cutler is actually pulling away from the Mercedes. So that answers that question. Idol does do that safety stop we discussed. I think he might need a splash of fuel as well, but we'll see. So Miggins is just coming around the final corner now. Idol had managed to extend that stint. He's been released from his pit box now. That lap for Miggins is putting his foot down now, despite having a bit of damage. Idol comes out clear ahead on fresh tyres. As long as Idol can keep it out of the wall, he'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, so Miggins is 5 seconds down. Full sends. We'll have to wait and see what his pace is going to be on these softs, but it looks good. It looks like it might dip into the 2 minutes. ProAm on the softs as well. Again, someone who we think might dip into those lower lap times once he gets the attention of Cutler away from him. Lucky Bucky could potentially try and catch Cutler here. He's on fresh softs. I'd imagine Lucky Bucky will reel in the Viper ahead pretty quickly. And he's got to look at him and think this is a pass for Conrad straight. Just get a good exit out of Forest Elbow. You've just got to concentrate on that exit, and that's the one thing you've got to nail in this lap, if nothing else. I've had a few people pit. Phil G 13th. Phil G's just set the fastest lap of the race from 13th. I don't know if it's worth an extra point in this league, but he's set that lap time anyway. Tyler John in 14th at the minute, so again that might just be a settle thing for Tyler. ESL Idol might be campaigning for an early bump up to Pro League here if he carries on with this sort of pace, but I've got to say it's just great race pace management from him. He's put enough fuel in there to be comfortable as well. Miggins might be fuel safe, but how many laps you got? We're going to have 3 more laps, aren't we? He should be okay, but the problem is the car behind that ProAm is definitely safe for fuel. He's got half a tank on board that car. Full Send and Miggins have both got to worry about it a little bit, and I'd expect both of these cars to start fuel saving. A quarter of a tank on board both those cars, so we'll see. They know they'll have all they'll know what the consumptions are, but it looks like we might be having a Miggins versus Full Send fight here for P2. The BMW goes for the move, gets the move largely done as well. And Miggins might not fight this one too much. He does fight on the outside, actually, commentator's case. Nice defensive move there from Miggins, as Full Send is just unable to get that move made there. That means he's basically just got to do what he did earlier on and just sit nice and patiently in the toe of the car ahead, not get air washed. So what I mean by that is don't overcommit to corners, because then your front end won't have the downforce because of the gigantic wing off the car ahead. You can see Miggins then on the medium with the damage. This is where he struggles. On the straights it won't affect it too much, which is why you need to focus on your exit from Forest Elbow. If you get a good exit from that corner, you can get the move made down the main straight. So you can see Full Send's just keeping this part of the track nice and tidy. Doesn't want to make any mistakes, wants to stay in that sort of magical 5-6 tenths gap. Good exit from here. It looks like he's got that corner nice and tight. That's a really good line there actually. He immediately pulls Miggins in. And Miggins now might well be a sitting duck again. It depends on what he's done with the aero on board that car. If his team have taken a lot of aero out, it will help him defend this. It does look like Full Send though, who we thought might have taken the aero out. It's going to be a battle down into the cutting. And Full Send fully committed round the outside. It was a lovely move by the BMW driver. I want to go and have another look at that. This is fully committed going into quite a heavy braking zone. So the driver's coming into here doing 170 miles an hour. And they're braking at just over 100 metres. And it is fully committed round the outside. There's a lovely move by Full Send. Whether he can get it's a big ask. ESR rider would have to crash. He has just set the fastest lap of the race as well, 2 minutes 0.4. So the driver's now on just 2 laps remaining. It's a big ask for him to get that. So Puani, can he get Miggins is the next question. Miggins is on worn mediums now. He's no stop this race. Puani, who had stopped earlier, his softs have got a little bit of wear on them, but they will be fresher than the cars ahead. We'll see if that gap from Puani, 1.6 seconds, we'll see if that can come down. Britzberger, since getting past Cutler, hasn't managed to escape too much, and Cutler has got the attention of Lucky Bucky now. Lucky Bucky's got 2 laps in which to get this move made. We'll have had a little bit of time behind the Viper now to assess how and when that move can happen. Sean kind of on his own at the minute, so is Diablo. D-Dot though has got MRC Buddy for company of the Aston Martin, looking to go up the inside of the Evo. D-Dot doesn't fight that one too hard, actually gets sent out wide a little bit, and that's Buddy up to P10 with D-Dot relegated down to the back. This of course means though that these guys down at the back, we've got D-Dot, Duds, Phil G is one to watch in race 2. And Tyler John, these guys are all going to get front row grid slots for the next race, which is a longer race with less fuel, where strategy is much more important. If you can get in clean air and execute your game plan, you are on to a winner. So Phil G might not be as mad at that as you may seem. Only he will of course know. Coming over to start the last lap then here at Bathurst for the sprint races, ESR Idle, as he does so. 14.5 seconds is the lead. We've got Full Send, who has fully sent it as much as he can this race. He's started P4, he's worked his way up to P2. Yes, alright, we've kind of got the job done nice and early by just getting that gap made early on. Miggins is starting to come under pressure from Puani then. Puani will be fully attacking through this lap. Miggins, who's carrying a little bit of suspension damage on that front left upright that we saw earlier on. Will just mean the car's getting a little bit of vibration at high speed. It won't feel as connected going through the edge. You can see that the car just drifts a little bit wide. But it's hard for Puani to make advantage of that here. It's not really a great overtaking track through this second sector. You kind of just have to sit and be patient. Now they are also not too far behind Full Send as well, so yeah, they don't want to throw it away. You can hear Puani, he's going to go, he went to go for it, thought better of it eventually. He's just trying to fill up Miggins' mirrors at this point, I think, is Puani. Doesn't want to give the AMG driver a minute to think, looks around the outside. He wants to make Miggins doubt every braking point, every apex, every turning point. He wants Miggins to think, I'm here, I'm ready to take this position from you. He's got the Conrod straight in which to do it, and I think this is where Puani's probably imagined doing it all along, really. The mountain is never a great overtaking spot, but he could be too close here. He's about 2 tenths behind. Now, what we saw happen last time with Full Send's pass is he got it done just so that the slingshot hand later on in the straight. Miggins could tuck back in here and get the overspeed back, but he's actually going to stay. He's actually going to stay out. Miggins might well. Oh, as Pirani's gone deep into the corner, we might go and have a look at that. ESR Idol wins the race. Sorry, forgot to cover that in the end. Fantastic consistency in the 2 minutes every single lap since his pits. Full Send claims P2. Miggins claims P3. Pirani, little bit of a misdemeanor there at the end. So he's battling here with Miggins. He just brakes too late. It didn't let me see that. Sorry, GT Sport replay system in action. So that's your race one. Well done to ESR Idol. Dominant performance for him. Absolutely smashed the back out of that one. Let me just get a save in that. This brake markers get smashed a bit. Save that replay. Right, so I'll have a short little break now. I might go and get myself a drink. Let's have a look. I'm just checking my notifications. We're all good. Right, I'm just going to get a drink. I will keep my headset on so I can hear you. And I can of course still talk to you. Right, so if you just tuned in or you're watching this on YouTube and you like a little bit of an intro anyway, race number 2 is coming up next. You're going to get the settings presented on screen in a moment anyway, because the host will be doing the swap through as we speak. But this is going to be a night race, so the time will go fast at Bathurst. We will suddenly advance time a few hours, and we'll be in dusk settings, which is effectively dark here in this part of the world. The drivers will only be allowed to put 70 litres of fuel in their tank. It's going to be a 17 lap race, and they won't be able to change their tyres until the end of lap 4. They must also use 2 different compounds of tyres, so they're allowed to they're not allowed, sorry, to pit for tyres, get rid of the slow compound straight away. So they've got to run sort of a minimum of 4 full laps basically. So once they're on the end of the 4th lap, they can pit. Anything else to mention? No, there isn't. I will take this time, however, to say that if you are here looking for commentary from the Pro League, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place, because that is over on my good friend Dark Smoker's YouTube channel. When I link this up on YouTube, I'll try and remember and put a link to his stream in the description, so you can go and have a watch of that if you want. He's a very good commentator, very capable. I do recommend you go and check him out. Right, I'm not looking at the screen at the minute. I'm in my kitchen. I'm debating what to have to drink. I'm just going to have a glass of orange juice. So give me a second. Right, so what did you think of race 1, ladies and gents? Put your comments down below. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts, really, because yeah, it was an interesting one. Lots of cars picking up damage. That's going to be an even bigger factor in race 2. We're going longer. We've got the fast guys at the back as well. Now, as you've seen from Mount Panorama, it's not the easiest circuit to make a move on. If you want to get past here, you have to sort of plan your overtake a few corners in advance. You can't make sudden lunge movements through the mountain because you will kill people. And you will cause significant damage to not only your car but other people's cars as well. We haven't finalised my drinkies. There we go. So if I don't get one now, I'll get about 6 laps into the race and realise I want a drink, and kind of will be committed to not having one. So another point to raise as well, which is currently being discussed in the drivers chat, is the top threes weight addition. Yeah, it's a tough track. It's a tough track, Duds. It's not the easiest track to make moves on. You will have a good position for race 2 though. You'll be on the second row at grid. So ESR Idle, Full Send and Miggins, these guys have all got additional weight to add to their car. I don't know if this is normally typed in the chat as to what the weight is that they need to add on, but it's quite significant. So for ESR Idle, who won the race, it's quite a lot of weight he needs to add on. So yeah, so plus 7%. So in his car, it's quite a lot of weight. 14 laps. Yes, it is 14 laps, isn't it, or is it 17? Did I miscalculate it? Let's have a check. 17 laps. Yeah, it should be 17 laps. Cut the way do it. Oh, that's going to be a while. It's going to be a long race. That. What was the 11 lapper? That was 22 minutes. So another 6 laps on top of that. So yeah, it's going to be about half an hour or so, isn't it? Right, let's get on track and have a look at. You're not very chatty, you lot, tonight. You're normally in here lighting the chat up, and you're not doing that tonight. What's going on? Is it something I said? Right, so this is going to be a view. We are in pretty much night conditions here in Western Australia. The car's of course equipped with lights, so they'll be able to see, but I'll be brutally honest, when you're actually out on track, you don't see that much. You will see the tail lights of the cars ahead, the city lights sprawling ahead of you. But it can be quite a lonely place here at night. I've done a couple of races here in these conditions, and it's always quite a daunting place. Just chilling. No, you're not contractually obliged to chat. It's just I've become conditioned to it. That's all. I think it's because you normally sat here sort of like giving each other crap in chat that I'm kind of used to it. That's all. Well, don't do that in race, Seamus. Christ, don't hit that wall. So yeah, Seamus is in here as well now because he missed race 1. I'm guessing he'll start at the he'll start at the back of the grid because he didn't even run race 1. So yeah, so we should be having. Let me just check. He's amended it to 17 laps. I best tell him now before. You know what I mean? Anyway. That's your lot. So yeah, the guys at the back that sort of finished at the top of the grid last time, they're going to have extra weight anyway, so I'd imagine quite a slow start from them. It sort of makes sense for them then, because they're not really going to be able to get a lot of moves made early on unless there's absolute carnage up ahead. So it all makes sense for them to do the first few laps on the soft tyre. That's kind of what I'd do if I was in their position. I mean, I don't know how long the softs go, but judging by that race, I think ESR Idle did like 7 or 8 laps on the softs before they really started to feel dated. A 2-stop's viable here. You don't lose that much in the pits. So I'd do, what is it, 17 laps. So I'd come in at the end of lap 4, I'd get rid of the mediums. I'd go on softs, I'd run them until lap 10, and then I'd pit, and then I'd run another 7 laps softs then. It's probably the fastest way to do it. Because his soft drop-off isn't that bad. As we saw with ESR Idle, he was still getting 2 minutes on the 6th lap. The 6th lap he'd had them tyres on, I think it was. Or the 5th, one or the other. So yeah, the softs are a viable option for quite a long stint. I don't know. That's probably how I'd approach it, but obviously I'd have tested it beforehand to make sure it was faster. So these guys will have done that test and will know. will know how it feels. Like, I guess for me, the benefit of running the mediums at the start, you're not going to be doing a ton of overtaking because you're going to be in a train. Your car's going to be lighter because it's only got 70 litres of fuel on board, so you're not going to lose as much pace anyway. I got 5 mediums, 6 softs. Yeah, no, that's a good strategy as well. I just probably want to reduce my time on the medium. Well, that's just me. So I'd probably be willing to run an extra sort of lap on the soft tyre. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's like degraded and bits flying off it everywhere, I think a worn soft is still quicker than a fresh medium. As Sean's finding out. I think anyway. Like I say, these guys have tested all this sort of stuff. I haven't. I'm just some random bloke off the internet that's coming here and just looking at it. But that would be my thought on it, I guess. But yeah, Millerman, I mean, if you got the pace on the mediums and you're still stuck in that traffic, but you could then get the undercut as well. Like if everyone else is doing the stretch the medium stint out, you get the undercut, you go on the soft tyre, you fly some quick laps in clean air and boom, you're through. I don't know, mate, I'll make it up. Make it all up. That's fully sending it into the wall. Yeah, so we'll see what this one's going to do. Of course, all that depends on whether you get damage as well, you know what I mean? Like, if you get absolutely clattered, that changes. You've got to adapt to your strategy depending on what's going on around you. I'm going to be watching Mr. Phil G tonight. Mr. Phil G is on my watch list, because that man has got some serious pace. Yeah, like what Phil did. He's got some serious pace though, and he's starting near the front. He's got a genuine opportunity tonight to just bugger off, because Idle, Miggins, Full Sends, all them guys going to be at the back. They're going to struggle to get through. If I was Phil, I'd stick some soft on that and just fly at the start. That's what I'd do. Just try and get some moves made early doors. He's improved so much this year. Well, I didn't see him before. I can only really judge him on what I've seen here. But what I've seen in here has impressed me. Like, he's genuinely a fast kid. Seems to have pretty decent racecraft as well. Sorry, I'm putting random stuff on your screen. Full Send is one of the newer drivers that's impressing me as well, but I've got to say, based off race 1 in here, you can't look past the SR Idle for a good result. That lad had some serious pace. Can he carry that over when he's in traffic? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, gonna find out in a few minutes time. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I love Bathurst. I don't know if I mentioned that like once or twice, but I like Bathurst. It's my favourite. Full Send's a good movie to see out, right? So he's on the other side of the fence. Cool. Let's get the names off. So we've got Tyler, John, D-Dot, Phil G and Duds. These guys have got the opportunities at the start to get a good start off the line. Everyone does seem to get away well. Just looking to see if any stragglers at the back. I think everyone seems to have got away nice and cleanly. Any incidents at turn 1, a couple of cars have gone quite deep, kicking up some earth there. Tyler John was one of them. He went a little bit too wide and just started kicking up some dust. D-Dot's making an early campaign for the lead, who's followed up by Duds. Diablo, who is a Bathurst veteran. Phil G's starting to get a little bit swamped. He's got Cutler behind him in the Viper. Cutler's gone up the inside, and we've got some contact already there into the wall. That's going to be quite heavy damage for whatever car that is. We are going to go back and have a look at that in just a moment. I want to say Phil G was involved in that as well. Cutler's up to P4, Miggins is up to 5th already. Miggins has had a great start. Full Send up to P6, MRC Buddy P7, Puani P8, ESR Idle has started on the mediums. He's in P10 at the minute, so he just needs to execute his game plan. Been a lot of incidents ahead of him though, which has mixed up the order a little bit. Sean's got engine damage, Britsberger there, and Phil's got engine damage, so Phil's going to be limping round this one. Right, we've got a lot to cover, ladies and gentlemen. Is this on board Phil? Phil has got a cutlet there. It's not there if he gets engine damage though, it's when he spins it. Right, I think we just need to go and watch the live stuff and just see what's happening. D-Dot's breaking away at the front. D-Dot up to nearly a second ahead of Duds. Duds who's having a nice little fight with Diablo. We have got a bit more spacing going on down the mountain now, so a bit more has happened behind us. Diablo not able to get to... Oh my god, we go back to Miggins' view and we see further damage caused. There's absolute carnage here at Bathurst tonight. We've got cars all over the place. I don't even want to start to know what happened with that. What? It's given the SR Idle a good start. He's broke through. He'll be glad of all that. Because there's lots of cars out there going to have to come in and get their damage fixed. Miggins has got engine damage. Cutler hasn't got damage, but he was involved in that somehow because he's all the way at the back. We've got Sean with damage and Phil with full engine damage. So that's 3 drivers who have got some serious time to make up in this race. What happened to Miggins? Right, so that's Cutler. That there is Buddy in an Aston Martin, nothing behind him. Right, so what happens? Oh, it's Cutler gets it loose. Cutler gets it absolutely loose and collects Miggins. That's what happened. That's what happened there, coming through into the chase. So this is Cutler's point of view of that incident. So that's those two guys fighting away. Oh my days, yeah. Cutler also involved, sends his car flying, he's out into the gravel. Right, let's have a bit of a recap. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we've not got absolute chaos ensuing. But D-Dot, 5 seconds ahead. Go on, lad. Go on, D-Dot. Duds is being the proverbial cork in the bottle here, because on the medium tyres, the cars behind just cannot get past him. We've got Buddy on the soft tyres. We have got Diablo now who's making that launch on Duds. But both drivers on the medium tyres, similar fuel levels between the two. But Diablo now up into P2. We've got Buddy who's trying to make a move through as well. It's going to be side by side as we go into the chase for the second time of asking. Yet again, I think chaos is averted by these guys. We haven't got a car that went fully down the inside. That was a good move there by Duds. So Duds is going to get the overspeed on Diablo. Actually lifts off here just to ensure he's in the right place. I think Diablo braked early. He had to get out of the way. So that was actually Duds getting out of the way of an incident and ends up benefiting from it, but he has lost out eventually. Pirani P5, full send at P6 has managed to make the best of this one, I think. Tyler John P7. We've got ESR Idle in 8th now. He's being pushed along by Slow Seamus. ESR Idle, of course, is on the medium tyre and he's got a load of weight added to that car as well from his victory in race 1. So it's going to be a tall order for ESR Idle to get near the podium tonight. Lucky Bucky in 10th. We've got Cutler in 11th now. He's been caught by Britsberger. We've got Sean in 13th. We've got Miggins in 14th. He's got damage yet again. So what's happened to Miggins tonight? Now that damage was caused earlier on in the lap. Phil G. I want to say Phil G might have just retired the car for tonight. Phil, saw it. I saw it, mate. Feel for you, because you know what, and I feel bad because the commentator's cursed because I was amping you up pre-race as well. I was like, this is all Phil, this has got Phil written all over it. I'm sorry, man. Good. I'm good, dude. But obviously, all I can say, I mean, I'm not a steward for the league, but you know, clip it and send it in because that's what you should be doing with this sort of stuff anyway. But yeah, I'm good for you, mate. I'm good for you. But you see our team Mandems, D-Dot escaping away at the front, but he is starting to get caught a little bit by Buddy. Buddy will be pushing now, setting purple sectors. Buddy's aim at this stage is to use these softs as good as he can, so he's going to want to extract maximum pace. He goes too deep as he goes agricultural off the road. We'll lose him a place to Diablo. And unfortunately for Buddy, I want to say he did just brake just a little bit late here. I didn't see what happened to Miggins at the A, he just broke far too late. The 75, he just missed his brake marker. And I want to say that brake marker might have actually been taken out by an incident earlier on in the race, so no wonder the drivers were struggling that. Yeah, I saw Miggins was taken out. I think Miggins' head's gone because he's got damage again now. But I didn't see what happened to Miggins, I don't think. Unless we did review that earlier on and I just didn't go back and have a look at it. It's too late now, I can't go back and look, but yeah, whatever's happened to Miggins. Obviously it's causing quite heavy damage. Right, so the story then, D-Dot's managing to escape away. He's on the soft tyre, so again, stretching this stint would work for D-Dot. So again, he wants to take this about 7-8 laps ideally. Just got to move on. Good advice, Millerman. Nothing you can do about it technically now. You can't replay the race, I'm afraid, but you can submit it in to be reviewed and just think of the next one. Think of the next race. It was always going to be a tough one, Bathurst anyway. It's like DNFs in real life. They're gutting when they happen, but you just kind of have to go, you know what, we've got, in theory, over the course of the season, it should kind of happen to everyone, but, you know, I don't think there's anything I can say right now that'll make it feel better, dude, but other than how good for you. And lucky Bucky though, he's actually the fastest man on track at the minute. D-Dot's managing to maintain this gap to Diablo behind. Again, he's doing quite a good job. 202.4 for D-Dot, fastest lap of the race so far for him. Diablo might just snatch this though with a 201.7, so Diablo behind him is on the chart. Diablo's on the mediums as well, so showing the pace he's got in that Mercedes. MRC Buddy, who we saw at an off-road moment not too long ago, he's in P3, but he's doing a good job of his fuel, so is Pirani. Dud's doing a good job this race, Dud so far, winning that medium stint. He might be thinking of getting rid of those at some point, but we'll see what he says. The good news, I guess, for some of these drivers is there's now nice gaps for people to fall into when they do pit. So that's something else you've got to take into consideration. Is ESR idle, he's coming under pressure from Lucky Bucky. Lucky Bucky just gets a rear wheel on the grass, just unloads that a little bit and the car just becomes unstable. But of course, Lucky Bucky with the Lexus on the soft tyre, we're on a different strategy to the car ahead. The car ahead is a car that won the race. Oh, as we see Slow Seamus just decking into the wall. That's giving him full engine damage, I'm afraid. I want to say this is just a little bit, oh no, it's medium tyres and aero damage, that's what's caused this. So watch him get on the throttle coming out of the cutting. Just puts a boot down too early. The car's not stable yet. And that's full engine damage. Of course, when you get that full engine damage, you've got to carry it for the entire lap. And Cutler's going to come up to this car unaware it's got full engine damage. You will see, yeah, Seamus gets out of the way. Not much room to get out of the way here. Sean's still going around, he's on mediums now. Miggins running his mediums now as well. He's looking like he's going to choose to go long and just see what he can do. So he's quite a way behind everyone else's Miggins now. We know he's got the pace. He's just going to try and get a result based on strategy. Leader comes into the pits with 6-second advantage. So does Diablo. So they now have. So D-Dot, does he go on mediums here or does he go on softs again? Put a decent amount of fuel in and just do some more fast laps. It's up to him. So that does put Buddy in the default lead of the race, although we do know he's going to have to pit again. All these guys are going to have to pit. Pirani has pitted, but he's short fuel, so he's coming out for a short medium stint now, Pirani. So he's just going to go as fast as he can on these mediums, and I'd expect him back in a couple of laps. Just wanting to get rid of those tyres. He might even not do a full lap. He might be on a multi-pit strategy here. Where has D-Dot come out? D-Dot has come out in 6th. Yeah, he's medium tyres going long for D-Dot. So he's tucked up behind Diablo at the minute. Diablo has pitted as well, so the car ahead in theory for D-Dot should just start pulling away now. We'll see what happens towards the end of the race. Side by side here coming down. It's not going to work out well. ProAm and Duds. Does look like he backed out of that one a little bit last minute, and his medium tyres looking a little bit second hand already as he comes down the mountain. Of course, it's not just a little bit slower general pace. It's in high heavy brake loading zones. It's when you're putting a lot of pressure on the tyres to do the job, and that definitely happens coming down the mountain. Also happens down into the cutting, which is where the chase, which is where they're heading now. So those tyres on board Dudge's car will start to give out. Full send, and the BMW might be looking for an overtake before we even get there though. And Dudge makes it nice and tidy. Just a little bit loose on the back end coming out of it, but again that's the time where we might see him peel off into the pits actually. Yes indeed we do. He's kind of coming to the pits before he gets involved in too much of a kerfuffle with the cars behind. D-Dot. He's stuck to the back end of Diablo. Right, so we've got 10-11 laps remaining in this, so about another 20 minutes or so. I think all drivers are going to have to pit again, just for fuel, I think. We are fuel limited here at Bathurst. Buddy, though, has not pitted yet. He's gone 7 laps on 70% fuel, so he's doing great to get this amount of time out of a tank of fuel. Shadow 050, you look familiar. How you doing? You're not playing Rocket League? Worn softs though, keeping nice pace. 202.9s for him at the minute on those very worn softs. They would be nice and light on fuel though, so that'll be like a dancing ballerina of a car at the minute. And ProAm, nice fresh mediums on that, but this is a short stint for ProAm, so he's going to have to pit again. The problem for that strategy with ProAm, he's going to come out in traffic. So the issue I've got with that is he'll come out, what's his time going to be in the pit? It's about 5-6 seconds, so he's going to come out near D-Dot and Bucky. Bucky might pit actually, but he'll certainly come out around D-Dot's sort of area. Maybe just a little bit behind D-Dot, so he's then going to go on to what is effectively a faster stint behind the car on mediums and high fuel. So on a track that it struggles to overtake on. So for me, although it probably makes sense to do your medium stint like that, doing it this early on in the race, probably a bit of a risk. But again, we'll see how that works out for him. Full send, I would imagine him in this lap as well. He has been fully sending it every lap. He's done a great job so far. Buddy, does he pit? He does indeed. Leader is in the pits. He will put some fuel and some tyres on board that car. We'll see full send in the pits as well. So another little shake up of the order. We've got Lucky Bucky in the pits as well. D-Dot continues on. So D-Dot will go up to P3. Unless those cars, of course, manage to get out ahead of him. We'll see. So where does this bring him out? So Buddy comes out still ahead. ProAm is going to come out ahead. ProAm did a good job there actually. Did he pit? No, he hasn't pitted. ProAm hasn't pitted actually. He's going to pit next lap. So ProAm needs to make this. This has got to count for ProAm now. He's got to just try and gap the cars behind. So he's got Diablo behind him who's got damage. This is his opportunity. Because D-Dot's still lapping round. So at the minute, ProAm's got this lap to gap D-Dot. Because if he comes out anywhere near this car, he's in trouble. Because D-Dot's got good pace and is on a medium tyre, so ProAm will struggle to get by. ProAm's next stint is likely a very fast one. Full send back out in 5th position. He's on the mediums. He's going for quite a quick stint this time round as well, but again he's got that gap to fall into later on. We've got ESR Wilder winner out last time, high ballast on that car. That is a very heavy boy. P6 for ESR Wilder, he's doing a good job as well. He has been in the pits, I want to say. He came in the pits on lap 5 He's now on his soft tyres, so he should be up in his ante in terms of his stint pace. Lucky Bucky we saw just come into the pits, he's come out on his mediums. Glowing brakes on board the Lexus there. He is 9 seconds clear of Duds, who's out now on the mediums. And again, I'd imagine Duds, just to try and see out as much of this race without trouble as possible. He has got Cutler chasing him down though in P9. Britzberger in 10th at the minute. We've got Slow Seamus running in 11th. And we've got Miggins has made his way up to 12th actually. So this go long strategy in Miggins is starting to work a little bit, as we do see Puani in the pits. So how much fuel does he put on? I don't think he's been successful in getting out anywhere near D-Dot. So it's going to be a question as to whether he gets out anywhere near full send, I think. So Puani, what does he do? So he comes out, yeah, he's behind D-Dot, he's come out 3.4 seconds behind. So actually that's where it's out alright for Puani. That's not bad. That isn't bad at all. So he got out in front of the BMW. Didn't get out in front of D-Dot, but I think that's because D-Dot is now in clear air. He's starting to lap in the consistency, the 204s, which is good pace on mediums for that car. He keeps doing that, it'll be alright. Currently holding P3, Diablo P2. Diablo has got a little bit of damage, but does hold the fastest lap of the race at 201.6. He is chasing Buddy down like a rabid dog. Buddy's on the mediums, will have a little bit less lateral load grip on that Aston Martin. These two cars are relatively evenly matched, I should imagine, at the minute in terms of their pace. Buddy's of course going short stint on the medium tyre. So what I mean by that is you go and you put the option tyre on, which is the slower one, and you don't put as much fuel in, so you only put 1 or 2 laps of fuel on board that car. You need to run that tyre, but you get away with running it for as little time as possible. Technically your loss is lessened. So just Diablo go for the move here for the lead of the race. I think he's going to try. As he sets purple sectors, he's actually backing off here as we come through the chase. No, he backs out of the move, he doesn't go for the overtake. Puani then gap to D-Dot, 2.1 seconds. I'd imagine Puani would close that down. He's on lighter fuel and he's on a faster tyre, so I'd imagine he'd get up to D-Dot quite easily, but it's whether he gets past the guy. Full send also doing a short stint on those medium tyres. So at the minute in time, strategy is just starting to play its way out. We won't know the true picture of how this is all going to fall out until a little bit later on. We do know a few things are for certain though. We do know that Miggins is trying something different. He's going to struggle to get near the sort of top 5 just because of the gaps on circuit, but if he can lessen his time in the pits and lessen his time in the walls, you know, he could definitely pick up more points out of this. But he's carrying on for another lap, which means he's got to try and keep Diablo behind him for a little bit longer. He did cause Diablo to lose some time there towards the end of the lap, so that's helping him out. Puani has reeled in D-Dot, so that gap now down to just 1.4 seconds. Flash of lights from the AMG driver as well. He's trying to put D-Dot off his rhythm. We'll just jump on board with D-Dot if we can. So this is looking from the back as Puani's actually made an error somewhere along the line for the AMG driver. He's messed it up. This was coming out. Oh yeah, he just went a little bit too deep there. Did well to save it, but that has took him out of the immediate fight with D-Dot. He's got to do all that hard work all over again. Full send is doing a good job on the medium tyre. We know he's short stinting like Buddy. So what I would imagine from Full Send and Buddy now is they will probably pit this lap, just looking at the gaps, because if they pit this lap they can probably get out ahead of D-Dot and stuff like that, like Buddy. Pit this lap, put 7 laps of fuel in it, probably overfuel a little bit so you can push, go on the soft tyre and run that to the end. So these are the guys that we're probably certain what their strategy is going to be. It's a good strategy as well, yeah. Buddy does pit from the lead of the race. This is yeah, it is here. It is here. Sort of enhanced by the short pit lane. If it was a long pit lane, it wouldn't be as important. But because it's a short pit lane here at Bathurst, your pit stops don't cost you that much. And it's all about your fuel as well. So if you can save fuel, you will make up time because you won't have to spend as long, even less than this. So Puani's caught back up to D-Dot. D-Dot now takes back the lead of the race. He can't make it on fuel though, D-Dot, I don't think. I'm going to be pretty confident as Puani does go for the move. I'm pretty confident that neither of these cats can make it to the end of the race on fuel. So they're going to have to pit again. And if I was in D-Dot's shoes, because he doesn't really have to put that much in, the guys behind him are going to be rapid, so I'd have pitted then the last lap, gone on to softs. I mean, he knows his strategy obviously, but that's what I'd have probably wanted to do, because then at least you can fight them guys at the end, you know. Let's talk about ASL Idol. Fresh face to the championship. I think I only learned of him driving in the championship today, so how much notice of it he had, I don't know. Currently driving the BMW M6. It is one of the favoured cars in the league, but it is definitely not like an all-out OP car. It has its strengths. Traction and short wheelbase means it's very good in the corners. He's got a pit stop coming up, we believe. I'd probably imagine that would happen relatively soon. He's been on these tyres now for 6-7 laps. It makes sense. It makes sense for him to pit at the end of this lap, to be fair, because he's got a good gap behind him. He's not going to be losing too much time on the soft tyres, on worn softs. Probably makes sense for him to pit now, to be fair. Let's put it out right in the corner. Diplo and D-Dot are fighting away. D-Dot sort of almost gets shuffled out of the way there. This is kind of what D-Dot didn't want to happen. He's got Buddy up behind him as well. D-Dot does pit, so he's going to pit in the end of this lap, so he's now going to strap on a set of super sticky soft tyres, put in a little bit of fuel to go to the end. That should bring him out ahead as Idle pits as well, yeah, so he's doing exactly that. Should bring him out ahead of full send, comfortably, to be fair, as well, ahead of the BMW, so we'll see how that elapses. So we're starting to see the puzzle unfold. Puani's got a pit again. I'd have honestly expected him to have already done it, but to be fair, there's not a lot of life taken out of them softs. This might actually work out well for him because he's got a lap in clean air and doesn't have to worry about anyone. He can put a good lap in here and hopefully get the overcut, mate. Diablo and Buddy, we believe now we're going to be going to the end of the race. So for these guys, it's now all about just maintaining the game plan. D-Dot is now going to the end of the race as well. He is super safe on fuel. If anything, D-Dot can put too much in there. You've put a full 100 litres, dude. Don't need that much, but you can go full am now. Just go nuts. Full send. So I think to do 5 laps, you probably need about max 60-70%. I'd imagine is what you're looking at on the tyre deg ratings. Yes, I'm Idle now. Another car going to the end. P6, 14 seconds clear of the cars behind. He can just go attack now. There's only the one car ahead of him that's got a pit, and I think Puani can pit and come back out ahead of Idle anyway. So if Idle wants to get anywhere ahead of P6, he's got to do some overtaking. He's got another BMW ahead of him, so an equal car on equal strategy. These two, it's just going to be about the pace. And Idle has more weight on his car. He's a good 200 kilos heavier, I think. Is what the spec sheet said before the race. Forgot to stop fuel, did he? What a donut. Tell him Chris says he's the donut. Love him though, but yeah, it's a donut. To be fair, right, I mean, it's only put him under the clutch. The only reason I say is it's just put him closer to full send, that's all. On track, it hasn't actually cost him a position yet, but it might do later on. Right, so Puani's doing his pit stop then. Puani should get up ahead of D-Dot, so Puani should come out. And has he been released yet? How much fuel's he putting in this? What's he doing? Puani's out. It's alright, the graphic didn't tell me he'd been released. Yeah, so Puani's out, so he's took about 60% fuel on, so he's nice and comfortable. Cutler is just losing time, so Cutler's all by himself at the minute. Duds has got heavy damage. What caused that? Sorry, I've not been paying much attention to the guys at the back. Oh, he smashed that wall. Jesus Christ, Duds, what did you do that for? Can we go back and have a look? Oh, he just got it wrong. I don't go back far enough to see, but yeah, he got it wrong there. Diablo then leading the race. 1.3 seconds is his advantage. This, for me, has been a masterclass by Diablo so far. I don't want to curse it. Please, no commentators curse. I don't want to be blamed for any of that. But he's brilliant drive from Diablo so far. Brilliant drive from D-Dot as well. I mean, it's not finalised yet. The 13 laps he's had so far, I mean, he's still getting used to these soft tyres. He's carrying more fuel than the cars behind, so he's carrying a little bit more weight. He's got two very fast cars coming up behind him. The SR Idol, despite having nearly 200 kilos more fuel on board, he's trying in vain, and you can just see how much that fuel's worth. That ballast is worth, because the second he pulls out of the slipstream, he just stops. Is he Pro League? Is he? I thought that. I did think that, you know. So will this count as a win for Buddy then if it finishes like this? Don't know. Has been all season. Alright, okay, fair enough. Well, that's not good, is it? Alright, so D-Dot needs to pray that Full Send and Idle just battle like crazy. Puani's in the pits again. He's had damage, he's had a crash. So this has put Puani out of the race. His crash happened earlier on the lap. I did miss that, I apologise. I wish I had a little alert that told me when these things happened. But I'm afraid I don't. Right, so a bit of a race recap then. Just a couple of laps to go here. We've got Diablo leading the race. Buddy has been catching him though just a little bit this lap, so a few tenths taken away from him, not too much. D.90 currently holding that P3 position. Nice and safely fueled to the end is D.90. He just needs to keep his head down now. He's got a little bit of a gap over Full Send. Full Send it has become embroiled in a little bit of a battle with the SR Idol. The winner last time out, Idol's carrying a little bit of ballast, but he is in full shark dog attack mode, so expect to see those two battle. Puani's race is just unravelling now. He's just been in the pits to fix some damage and immediately smacks into the wall at the cutting, and he has lost acres of time because of that. Cutler then not too far behind the stricken Puani and might have a chance of getting past him as well. Cutler is on fresh tyres. So he'll be going at him. Britsburg on the mediums. He'll just drop back from Cutler, I'd imagine. Lucky Bucky P9 for Lucky Bucky. Someone we've not covered too much. I think he's had a decent race. The Lexus not the best car for around here, if I'm being brutally honest with you. It's a bit of a boat. But Lucky Bucky is he's pulling some good lap times out of that car. We've got Duds in the AMG. Had a good start to the race, but then it just did start to unravel for the guy from there. Miggins will want to forget this one. He will want to chalk this one off to experience, no doubt, but he's getting some good lap times in that AMG. Slow Seamus. P12 Seamus had a big accident at the start of the race. Sean, I've not really... Sorry Sean, I've not covered you too much. I do apologise, there's been a lot of action ahead of you. Tyler John, new to the league, has had one to forget, I'm afraid, for Tyler. He's on the verge of getting lapped by Diablo and Buddy. He's not too far away from that actually. And Phil G, Phil is in the chat, we know why Phil's in here, but he's got his feet up in the garage having a nice cup of tea. So as we just commented on, Diablo and Buddy embroiled in a nice little battle. Pirani's in the pits again to get that damage repaired, so I think he just wants to get it fixed and just try and keep that position to Cutler. So where does Pirani come out? Pirani remains 6th, but the gap to Cutler is shrunk massively. Let's just jump on board with the Aston Martin of MRC Buddy. These guys will know there's only a handful of laps remaining. They will know their fuel consumption rates and just how much they can push these cars down. You can see Buddy's still doing a little bit of short shifting on that car, so we'll be wanting to tuck into the slipstream of the AMG repaired and just get a little bit of aero assistance. Diablo also short shifting a little bit. Similar fuel levels between these two. D-Dot has no such worries, and the good news for D-Dot I think so far is he's keeping Full Send at bay. Full Send and Idle have just been embroiled in this battle, and it is slowing them both down. Because they are fighting so much, they are losing D-Dot. beer, mate. Good lad, good lad. Well earned. So Idle does go for the pass on full send. I think these guys need to resolve their differences if they want any hope of catching the Evo up ahead. But they're not going to. Full send is going to come straight back at him. This is great driving. This is great stuff. Full send then. Defended it to a degree, so he wanted to make sure he had the left hand side. This is important. So the left hand side for the chase is the inside line. So as long as you've got that, you've got the advantage. Just a little bit later on the brakes, you can run the corner deep here because it's quite a wide exit. Full send does a nice job of defending that. ESR rider will go on attack mode yet again and goes round the outside. Doesn't manage to get that move made round the outside of Hell's Corner. Drag race, as we know, is only going to go one way between these two cars. I think Full Send will actually win that one, but I think Idle got a very good exit. Hope he can hold on for podium. Well, it might be a P2 because Dablow's not meant to be in here, is he? So, will they class that as a win for Buddy? Well, it is a win for Buddy then, because he's got past him. So how did this move get made? So does Diablo smack a wall? Oh, he goes deep there. That's good. Yeah, that's not good. That's not the optimal line. Diablo tries to block that move off, but he's just a bit too late in doing it. So Buddy then in the Aston Martin makes his way through into P1. Diablo P2. They have got a good gap over D-Dot, but D-Dot, the good news for him is he stretched the gap then to the cars behind. The bad news is he's got the winner from last time out right behind him now, 4.3 seconds away. The good news is that car is carrying a hell of a lot of ballast. D-Dot's lap times have been consistently faster than the cars behind for the last couple of laps. He just needs to keep his head in the game. Full Sender's got full damage. And he lost it at McIlhenny Park, just coming over the brow of the hill. I'm going to guess he got a wheel caught on the grass there on the right hand side, and it turned him round. I'm not sure what my guess is. It'll just be credited as a win to Buddy. That's my guess. Sorry, as a second place to D-Dot, but I don't know. That's a question for Nev. Last lap then, boys. This is it. All you've got to do, D-Dot, is keep it on the track. Idle's quick, but he ain't taking 4 seconds out of you in a lap. So just keep it on track, dude. D-Dot's got a little bit of damage as well. I don't know when he picked that up. He's had that since he's had that a while. So MRC Buddy looks to be in good shape for the race win here. He's just got half of the track to navigate. Diablo trying to chase him down. A little bit of aero damage on that car. We've got D-Dot holding third at the minute, with VSR Idle in fourth. Puani P5, Cutler in 6th, Lucky Bucky in 7th. Full Send will be gutted at this. He was having a great race until the end. Duds in 9th. We've got Miggins in 10th. Britsberger in 11th. Slow Seamus in 12th. Sean in 13th. Tyler Johns in the pits. He's got some quite heavy damage on board that car. So let's keep an eye on the battle you all want to watch. ESR Idle v D-Dot. The gap is shrinking. ESR Idle is taking time out of him. But all he's got to do, D-Dot, all he's got to do is just keep it on the black stuff. Because Idle's not going to be in the slipstream by the time we get to Conrod. D-Dot's not going to lose that much time through the last few corners. He's going to be fine. Love to know how many in pro tonight. Not too sure. Not too sure. Have a look at Dark Smoker's stream on YouTube. He'll have it up. But Buddy does take the win. A hard-fought win for the Aston Martin driver. Just about. Just about. Diablo eventually takes P2. And the news you're all wanting me to say, the words you all want me to utter, D.90 comes around the final corner at Bathurst. I'm being careful not to commentators curse him. I'm just going to wait till I can see he's on the path. D.90 takes a podium here at Bathurst in the feature race in the Evo, despite a massive overfueling moment. Held off the race winner from last time, ESR Idle, who claims P4. Puani is going to bring it home for 5th. Despite quite a few errors himself. His race really did start to unfold in those 12th and 13th laps. So P5 for Puani in the end. Cutler brings it home in P6. He's carrying a little bit of damage across the line as well, but a good result for the Viper. So P6 for him. Full send. After that damage, he could have had a higher result here, but I'm afraid it's a P7 for him. Duds, he'll be lucky to see the back of this one. P8 for the Mercedes AMG. With Lucky Bucky just about. Is he going to get P9 or is Miggins going to rob it? Miggins? Is he going to steal it? Yeah, he is. Miggins takes P9. Lucky Bucky, I think, lets him just... Well, Lucky Bucky's got engine damage. Oh my god. Didn't realise that. Britzberger in 11th. Slow Seamus in 12th. Sean 13th. Seems like it's one that Sean wants to forget. He did offer to do comms tonight as long as I raced for him. Tyler John in 14th and Phil obviously finished off in the pits, didn't really complete any of the race. Engine damage last lap. I just saw it the last minute, Lucky Bucky. Sorry, I didn't see what happened. Oh, you had that then anyway. Sorry, dude. I didn't clock why. Yeah, it was a very good race. I enjoyed that one. Like, there was some incidents. Like, elephant in the room. There was some incidents. Let's just get that straight out there. Now, I'm not someone that wants to really go in depth and look at that sort of stuff. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's not fair. I'm not a steward for this league. But there was certainly some incidents throughout, and I'm sure they'll get reviewed. But one thing I do want to say is big well done to my man D.90 for claiming the podium. Technically a P2 if Diablo is a pro driver. So that's a P2 for D. Well managed race for him. He of course led a large slice of the race, and I think didn't do himself any favours in that middle stint. So cheers, Bellaman. Thank you. He smashed into the again. Oh god. Oh god. It's alright, Lucky Bucky, mate. It happens here, doesn't it? Like, it's Bathurst. You struggle. There's not many people that struggle to get around 2 races at Bathurst without any damage. I don't think one driver managed it tonight. Ah. Cheers, Mikey. No, without. Yeah, it's nature of the game, isn't it? That's why they do them endurance races here, because they're always full of carnage. If you've ever watched the Bathurst 500 or anything like that, I make a note when it's on and watch it. It's superb. It's the reason I love this circuit, because the GT racing here is brilliant. For the same reasons that tonight's race was brilliant. There's loads of weird strategy that goes on. There's accidents galore. It's great. You listen while driving. Hopefully I didn't put you off, Lucky Bucky. No worries, Damo. No worries, Idle. Well done, mate. Well done for race 1. Did well, mate. Rescued as much as you can out of race 2 as well, I think. Carrying the extra weight. Because it's not a little bit of weight, is it? It's not a little bit. It's like having a lot of weight in your car. It's 200 kilos, I think. Cheers, Roving Island. I'm sure we'll see you next week in your fateful Audi. What track are we at next week? I did see earlier on. Is it Nürb? Is it Nürburgring next? Oh god, the group chat's kicking off already. Yeah, there's some. It's alright. Pro was the same as well, by the way, guys. Brands, yeah, Brands and then Nurb, isn't it? Of course, a lot of weight. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Brands a good track. Should suit quite a lot of the cars into that as well. Yeah, should suit that. I did a GT3 race around Brands the other week. It's quite an evenly balanced track. Not too bad on the tyres. Not too bad. You can save quite a lot of fuel. You can coast a lot of the corners at Brands. So you can save a lot of fuel around there, so it's quite good. No worries, D-Dot. I did have to give you some grief for your overfuel. Hope you don't mind. But yeah, well done to all the drivers tonight. There was some really good racing mixed in with that. There was some incidents, of course, but let's not let that spoil what was a good set of races from the guys. Join us live, of course, next week for Brands Hatch GP. So the drivers will have to pack up all the kit and ship them all the way from Australia to South Great Britain in time for the race next week. So we're going to have some very jet-lagged drivers and technicians next week. But yeah, that's it from me in terms of what's next. So tomorrow night we're back streaming with the Next Gen Megans, so that'll be live from 8 o'clock. We will then be pretty quiet on the Twitch front until Sunday, when we'll yeah, I've done it, Miggins, I'll share it if you want. Pretty quiet on the Twitch front until Sunday, when we'll be live with the M4s. And I'm hoping I'll get to drop the Infinity GT and GT3 videos sort of on YouTube sporadically in the week as well. Right, cool. Thanks for tuning in, people. Really appreciate your support as always. It is noticed, appreciated, and I love you all for it. And I'll see you all next week. Until then, stay safe and good night. Bye bye.